Hello, my name is Dr. Mark Bussin from 21st Century Pay Solutions Group. This executive summary video presentation is on Paterson job evaluation. For more detailed information, please attend our full-day training course with leading experts in the field. This is what the job evaluation diagram looks like. It has salary or remuneration on the one axis, and it has your job grading on the other axis. Typically we talk about two stages, and stage one is where we look at the job grading, which is the bottom, and that is irrespective of people and irrespective of personality. Then we attach salary survey data to the other axis, and you can see that you form salary structures that has ranges of around 50% in width. It's important to notice that job evaluation is a systematic process. It's not a scientific process. Even if it's computerized and even if you're using a lot of science, most folk try and get it as scientific as possible, but where you deal with people, it is systematic. So we talk about a systematic process at the end of the day. We think that there's a 0.94 correlation between all grading systems in the world. So it doesn't matter which system you're using, the outcome will probably be the same. You'll get the CEO at the top, and you'll get cleaning folk and tea folk at the bottom of the organization. The purpose, of course, is to try and get a salary structure in place, something similar to that. The other thing we strive for in job evaluation is to get a good balance between internal equity and external equity. And internal equity means the equity within your organization, and external equity means the equity relative to the market in terms of pay. The outcome would be a salary structure. Don't forget to draft a pay progression policy. We find that most organizations that don't have a pay progression policy, it puts a lot of pressure on the grading system, and people are continually trying to upgrade their job descriptions to get a higher grade. As mentioned, there are two stages. We strongly suggest that you split the stages out and make sure that the first stage only deals with the job itself and does not take the personality into account. The second stage, where you lie on the pay scale, can take the personality into account and the performance and the skills and a whole bunch of other stuff. Why do we look at Paterson job evaluation? Well, Paterson is easy to explain. It's easy to implement. It's endorsed by the ILO, the International Labour Organization, and in terms of communication, it's been used right across all industry sectors in South Africa, and it's probably one of the most commonly used systems in Southern Africa. How does it look? This is what it looks like. It has a scale from A through to F, and A is basic or primary skills, B is semi-skilled, C is skilled or advanced operational, D is middle management or professional, E is senior management or strategic management, long-term decision making, and F is your top management or policy making. So the 6 levels form the basic framework of Paterson job evaluation. There is some correlation between Paterson job evaluation and SST, Stratified Systems Theory. It just so happens that Tom Paterson, who came to Southern Africa in the late 80s, knew Elliot Jacques, who was the founder of SST, and although not an exact match, there is a correlation. So the factors that get used to finalize and come to a grade is decision making or responsibility or judgment helps you get to a band. Whether you supervise work in the same area as you or sapiential authority gets you into a sub-band, and there we refer to an upper or a lower. And then complexity, variety, degree of supervision, and physical effort gets you to the final grade. So six factors are used to get to a final grade if you're going to implement the full system. There are 3 steps along the way. Step 1 would be your banding. So you use just the banding and you get all the job descriptions into 6 piles, and that is A to F. Then we do the sub-banding, and that's upper or lower. And you go from 6 levels immediately to 11 levels. You'll notice that A band does not have an upper or lower, and that's because the degree or the skill of supervision is at least semi-skilled, and typically B lows would supervise A band. And then step 3, one looks at the sub-banding or the sub-grading, and it can go up to 28 levels. So anywhere between 6 levels up to 28 levels. The most common implementations are somewhere between 11 and 14 levels, and that's because you can mix and match across the 3 steps. For example, you can just have A band, and then you can have B lower and B upper, and then you can have C1 to 3 and C upper, and so on. One of the most challenging aspects of Paterson is to get to the subgrades. That takes a lot of experience, but we've developed this matrix that looks at variety and complexity of tasks, and a little matrix like this will help you decide whether it's a B1, B2, or B3, for example. This is a typical structure of Paterson, and it gives some illustrative or indicative job titles just so that one can very quickly understand how the various grades work and the types of decisions that get made. Finally, we have grading committees, and the grading committees typically sit once a year, sometimes twice a year, and that's to review new job descriptions that come in, and normally someone would chair that grading committee. It's normally the most senior person in the organization. You can then have heads of departments and HR representatives just to make sure. Some of them have a consultant on there, but the idea is to get full consensus. If you reach a dispute, then one tries to go to mediation, and lastly arbitration. Ideally, you want the most senior person, like the CEO, to be the arbiter when there is a dispute. There are popular misconceptions to be managed when implementing job evaluation, and some of the big ones are everyone's going to get a big increase, or some people say at last the company is going to recognize what it is that I do, and my grade's going to go up. So please, before implementing Paterson, make sure that we have managed all the various expectations. The final slide is a very busy one. Please get onto our website and get a copy of it. It is a cross-correlation table between some of the major job evaluation systems. We have acknowledged copyright, so it is just an indicative cross-correlation table for you. But ideally, you should be coming on our course. It's a full-day course on Paterson job evaluation. Please contact Monica De Beer at 21st Century, or give us a phone call. We look forward to seeing you on the course. Thank you very much, and good luck.